Hey Florence, we have a couple of questions about the Silence and Satya retreat. One of them being, do you really sleep overnight at the studio?
Yes, you do get to sleep overnight at the studio. And I really recommend it because when you're at home, you're gonna get distracted. You're gonna get pulled into using your voice and all the different things. So you can bring a sleeping bag, your favorite pillow, a blanket, and make yourself like nice and comfy. And I'll also show you how you can use the studio props to do your own setup here. So we have all the bolsters and blankets and blocks and all those things here. And we also have this cozy little section where our kids are. That could also be a great place for you to set yourself up. But you could also grab a mat and take one of the blankets and put it over your mat. Grab a couple of pillows from the side there and then get yourself all nice and comfy. You can have a bolster if you like. You'll spend time seated. You might spend some time laying down. And like if you come into yoga, you can set yourself up in any way that you want to get nice and cozy and comfy and find your rest, your peace.
What will folks be doing all day at the retreat?
The choices are really up to you. You can sleep. Some people get a lot of rest when they're here because they're not active as much. You'll be able to come and do meditation. So every once in a while, and we'll go over the agenda before we get into our silence, but you'll hear a ringing of the bell, which will invite you to come and do an activity. So we might go into the meditation space and do some stillness for 10 to 15 minutes of just seated meditation. Once again, there's no talking. You don't have to, but if you want to, you will just come take a comfortable seat on one of the cushions in any space that feels good to you, and just allow yourself to close your eyes and sit in seated meditation. And you can do this collectively with the group. Or you're also welcome to come into this space at any point during the 24 hours that you're called to come into a seated meditation. One of the other things you will be doing is movement. So there'll be times for you once again to hear a little bell to invite you to come to your mat. And you can grab a mat and do your setup like you typically would for a yoga class, blocks, whatever else that you need. And we'll go through some yoga movements on the mat. There are opportunities to do this collectively, but at any point when you're moved, you might decide you want to come onto a mat and do your own setup and go through some sun salutations. You might get a strap and do some stretching. Any kind of movement that you're called to do at any time, you can do it, or you can join in those opportunities for us to practice together. And the practice is silent. So we'll do movements that are repetitive that you can do on your own without needing any verbal cueing from the teacher. Another great thing about our space is that there's outdoor space as well. So you're not contained to the inside of the studio. When you want to during the day, you can come outside. There's lots of great nature to take in, the sights and sound of our environments. A walking meditation can be great, just putting your feet on the earth, moving, feeling the sun on you, while you think and ponder whatever's coming up for you.
Florence, do we really not use our phones during this retreat?
Huh? Wait, what? Oh, yes. You definitely don't want to use your phones. And when you come in, you're going to turn it off, all the way off, not just on silent. You're going to turn it off completely. And you'll put it in the cubby with the rest of your things. And you're going to let your family, your loved ones know ahead of time you're going to be unreachable. Apple Watches too. You got to take those off and put them away, or else you're going to get bombarded with outside distractions. You have free will. You're coming here by your own choice. And if you really feel like what you need to do is leave, then by all means you can. But what I would really encourage you to do is stay for the complete 24 hours. It's a challenge to be in silence, and sometimes to be uncomfortable and sit with that discomfort and work through it is exactly what we need to do in order to move to other breakthroughs, other things in our lives. So when you get that urge, if it comes up, I really invite you to sit with it, breathe through it,